After leaving Hill City, I knew there were a couple of places I wanted to stop and see once more. The first was the iconic Wall Drug in Wall, South Dakota. I went there solely because I wanted one of those bumper stickers you see everywhere, and I also wanted a sticker for my trailer slide out. Mission accomplished. Wall is a mere 10 miles from the western gate of the Badlands National Park. My intention was to drive through the park and stop at the Visitor Center, which is near the eastern gate, to get my National Park passport stamp. The trip through the Badlands National Park took much longer than anticipated. Each time I visit the park, I am in awe of the ground and rock formations, the different landscapes, and the wildlife. However, on this trip, I saw only a couple pronghorns and prairie dogs. I was hoping for bison, but none were visible that day. It was extremely windy in the park, so when I got out to take photos, I wasn't out of the car long. Still, the beauty of this park is stunning, and if you've never been here, you really need to make the trip. 2 years ago, I did several of the hikes within the park. This time around, I stayed on the boardwalk hikes and tried to not get blown off. It took me longer than anticipated because I kept stopping at every viewpoint and every time I saw something that just inspired my heart. This is a place you don't want to miss. If it's not on your bucket list, it should be. After leaving Badlands National Park, I made my way to Chamberlain, South Dakota. Dignity of Earth and Sky is a sculpture on a bluff overlooking the Missouri River near Chamberlain. The 50-foot high stainless steel statue by South Dakota artist laureate Dale Claude Lamphere depicts an indigenous woman in plain style dress receiving a star quilt. According to Lamphere, the sculpture honors the culture of the Lakota and Dakota peoples who are indigenous to South Dakota. In a 2017 column published in the Sioux Falls Argus Leader, Susan Clausen Bunger, instructor of Native American social systems, wrote this: "As is evident through history, humans will ultimately disillusion and betray. As is such, I have a new role model who is solid and sturdy. She literally owns a spine of steel and reminds me of the injustice in the world, but also of strength, perseverance, and survival. She signifies people who have prevailed through centuries. She represents all who resist and strive forward. She portrays a rallying cry for those who wish to be heard and valued. She stands strong and proud, meeting the morning sun and bracing against the nighttime cold. She contemplates the world through a poise of conviction and fearlessness. Her name is Dignity." Dignity was my last stop on my journey back to Ohio. Time was getting short. I had medications to pick up in preparation for my eye surgeries, and I was just anxious to get through the remaining states. After 7 days, 10 states, and 3,100 miles, I finally arrived at my destination in Ohio. I didn't take any photos once I left the Dignity statue. Traffic became heavier, the landscape leveled out, and it rained most of the way into Ohio. On April 22nd of this year, I'll begin another journey west, this time to West Yellowstone, Montana, where I'll stay until late October. There will be plenty of adventures to embark upon and many more photos to share. Stay tuned. My story hasn't been completely written yet, and a new chapter is about to begin. So, thanks for sharing my life with me, and I'll see you in the next one.